Hi everybody, Phosphorus here. I wanted to do a video talking about the visual animation bugs that are happening in Old Man's Journey. So primarily there are bugs happening on level 4, chapter 4 and chapter 15. So let's go into chapter 15 and I want to just talk about this that's happening right now, because this is primarily the number one thing that's happening for people. Sorry about my chair being squeaky. So when you start up chapter 15, either from chapter 14 or from the level select that we just did, on this side of the screen, as you can see, the boat is starting as a cinematic. This is what's supposed to happen. So when the cinematic begins, the boat will come into shot, and then at some point the camera will pan outwards, and the boat will leave from being a cinematic to being an interactable object, an asset in the game. And I think it stops being a cinematic like right when it pushes forward. Now I can do stuff. So I can move it forward or backward. I now have full control of touching the boat. So the problem is with the bug is that it appears on the left side of the screen. The cinematics do not start. The camera pans out prior to the boat appearing on screen, meaning that something is out of order with how the credits are supposed to play. So this becomes an interactable asset prior to the cinematic playing, meaning that because it's out of order, it never plays the credits. If it never plays the credits, you can't actually move the boat because there's like an invisible wall in front of the boat. And because the credits never roll, you can never move it to this side of the screen, the right side of the screen, which means the end never appears. So everything's jumbled and out of order. So I went into settings and I messed with all of these except for anti-aliasing, because I believe anti-aliasing was always off, and I could not get this bug to stop. So what I did instead is something I've done for two other games, Cavern of Dreams and Inner Chains. Both were unplayable, and I changed this setting in NVIDIA Control Panel and was able to get them both to play, and the same thing for this. So if I go to Manage 3D Settings, I go to Add, because Old Man's Journey is not in that list. I click it, and I add the selected program. Now I've already added it, so I don't have to do that. Down this list, you're going to go to max frame rate. You're going to click it. You're going to go to, instead of global setting off, go to on, highlight in here, and hit 60 frames, 60 FPS. Click that and apply. Once it blinks, the setting's been set. We're going to go back into Old Man's Journey. You may not even need to close the program for this to work. I don't know. We're going to go back into 15, and even though I can't show you the bug happening because once I fixed it, I can't get it to replicate. The devs seem to be saying this too. They can't get it to happen. So maybe it happened once, and during their playtesting, they accidentally fixed it without even noticing it, and they can't get it to happen again. So once it's fixed, it seems to be fixed forever. So again, now it's playing in the normal way it's supposed to. And then once the credits finish, you can move to the right side of the screen. You can move the boat to the right side of the screen rather, and you will get the end to pop up. Click the center button right there, the same like gold button that appears in all the cinematics, and you'll get the end achievement. Now, someone did mention that they could not get the beginning achievement, which is unlockable in level 1 when you sit on the first blue bench, not when you sit under the tree where the lovers, like the girlfriend and boyfriend are on the roof. It's the second time you sit down at the blue bench with the cat. Somebody didn't get the beginning achievement, so they launched it in Big Picture, and they got it that way. Now, I have never been able to get Big Picture to work, but that's a video for another time, maybe when I'm dead. So the other visual bug that happens is in Chapter 4, and this might be related to the asset, the boat, because when you grab hold of the wheel, for me, it took 15 minutes for this to get to spin, because every 3 to 4 rotations, this bridge would only move 1 millimeter, maybe even less than that. Now it moves completely free. No problem whatsoever. So if you're having some issues with some of the assets, and again, the weird thing is that this bug does not happen on Chapter 5, where you move more things in Chapter 5 than you do in any other level of the game for moving all of the the train level where you have to move all of the train tracks in place to never have the brakes start. And it was like a hard achievement. I feel really proud of myself. I really like the achievement. I think it's a really, really good challenge in this game. I really appreciate it. And even for chapter 13, where you're driving the car, there's no visual bugs for those either that I've seen mentioned, and I didn't run into anything else except for chapter 4 and chapter 15. So hopefully this clarifies some stuff for you. If you can get NVIDIA Control Panel up, change the graphic settings, change the settings for max frame rate to 60 outside of the game for that settings. Because again, none of the settings worked for me to change. And hopefully that will fix it for you, and you will be able to finish the credits and get 100% for this game. So I know this video went a little bit longer, and we didn't really necessarily cover any specific achievements as to unlock, which is unusual for me on the channel. But hopefully this clarifies some stuff for you. If you are having issues either on PC or Steam Deck, now that the game has been launched on Steam Deck and verified, and then now it has achievements, if you're having any issues whatsoever, mention in the community hub, send the devs an email if you can with your log of whatever the issue you're encountering and a full description. Let's help them out by making sure that this is a good launch for them and clarifying any bugs probably within, like the first couple of weeks or first month for them, so they don't have to really, worry too much about it. Let's just help each other out. Let's be a community. So appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in this guide video or walkthrough. Take care now.